Turn your mic back up a little bit. No. No, it's just tonight's just the boys' game, and then tomorrow night the girls play at 6. And if the boys win, they play right after them. If they lose, they're done. If they lose here tonight, they're done. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Chautauqua, Kansas, to semifinal night here in boys action at the 1A regional here in Chautauqua. The game previous to us, Cedarville Dexter come out victorious in that, and they'll move in tomorrow night's championship game, and they will play the winner between the next game up, which is our St. Paul Indians versus the Sedan Blue Devils. Is that right, Mike?
I believe it's Blue Devils, yep.
So we look for the boys to try to put together a good game here tonight. Sedan comes in as the number 2 seed, so very good Sedan team. I think 5 losses on the season coming into regionals. So look for the Indians have to play well here tonight to get past this semifinal game.
Yeah, here we are at regionals, and like we said last night with the girls, all bets are off now, and you can pretty much throw records out the window. If you tracked any of the scores last night on the girls' side, you saw there were some upsets. So just because you come in here with a high ranking in the seedings and your record's pretty good doesn't mean that you can't get bumped off. So it's going to take a team effort. The Indians coming off a really good win the other night up at Jayhawk Lynn. The boys looked as good as we've seen them play in a while. Adam Albertini starting to really come alive here on the offensive end of the floor, starting to make a lot of his shots. And Chandler Bradshaw also coming alive, and they're shooting a lot better, not only from outside, but they're starting to hit those all-important free throws. So if they keep that up and get the momentum where they left it off at Jayhawk Lynn, you know, they've got a pretty good chance tonight to make it into the finals, but they're going to have this tough Sedan team in their way, so they're going to have to come together as a team and play as good as they can tonight and hopefully continue their run.
I'm guessing you must have dreamed that game up, Mike, because St. Paul didn't play Jayhawk Lynn. The boys didn't.
Well, we only went one game up there, didn't we? It's been a long week.
It must have been West Elk.
West Elk game.
Yeah, the West Elk.
They're starting to run together. We've been on the road so much, it's starting to all run together.
Yeah, just the girls played at Jayhawk
Getting older,
Lynn.
too.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit older.
You just let me go, though, didn't you?
Well, I didn't want to butt in until you was done.
It'll be okay.
St. Paul played Monday night in the regional. They had an opening round game Monday night and come out victorious in a nice win there. Excuse me, Tuesday night. The girls played at Jayhawk Lynn Monday night. The boys played Tuesday night in the opening round game. The opening round game got to be played at home. So St. Paul come out with a nice victory there against Altoona Midway. So coming off of back-to-back pretty good wins, especially up at West Elk that Mike was alluding to the week before in the makeup game. Indians shot well from the floor, played well from the floor, and that was absent Caleb Lemons in that game too, Mike. So see if the return of him will help. They're going to have to play well here tonight against Sedan. I think Sedan likes to press, so we'll see how the Indians and Coach Wartrick, what they have Indians have set up against the Sedan press, or see if Sedan comes out in a press and see how well the Indians can shoot here tonight. You win, you advance to not only the finals tomorrow night, but you will advance to sub-state. Top 2 teams go out of regionals, but if you lose this game right here in the semifinals, you're done for the season. So both teams with a lot on the line. Sedan's trying to make it, both girls and boys, into the finals tomorrow night, and the St. Paul boys are trying to do the same thing, trying to play right after the girls tomorrow night with a victory here with Sedan tonight. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back from that 2-minute timeout, we are going to have starting lineups for each team. You're listening to the Ritchie's Pharmacy pregame show and the St. Paul Indians on Hot 105. Welcome back to Chautauqua, Kansas, where St. Paul Indian boys are set for tip-off here in just about a minute and a half against Sedan, the Blue Devils. I want to thank everybody for joining us for the Richie's Pharmacy pregame show. I want to thank all our sponsors. Stick around. Our halftime show will be brought to you by Labette Health, and our postgame show will be brought to you by KW Trucking, and our title sponsor for this game and every game is Farmers Bank, as well as Farmers Bank being our live stream sponsor. If you're around Joe or Josh, give them a special thanks, because when you get into regional and sub-state action, Acacia requires you to fill out paperwork and also pay a little extra money to tape the game on or bring it to you live stream. So I want to make sure you thank Joe and Josh and all the people at Farmers Bank if you see them, as well as all our sponsors. Great support there in St. Paul, Mike.
Yeah, it's always, always been something that St. Paul's taken a lot of pride in, was the support they get from the community, and it just seems like no matter what we do, there's always someone there to step up, and this year is no different. We really appreciate all the sponsors.
As we get set to go over starting lineups for each team, we look for a good matchup tonight. St. Paul going to have to play well, going to have to hold down on the turnovers, try not to have any turnovers, and work on the offensive boards, get as many shots at the offensive rim as they can, and try to hold Sedan to not any transition point, or not very many transition points, and also rebound good against Sedan. We haven't seen Sedan all year long, but when you look at common scores or people that's played each other, it looks like it could be a real competitive game, and we hope it is. For St. Paul, number 3, junior Caleb Lemons gets the start. Home team on the scoreboard will be Sedan, because they are the higher seed. Leighton Sears, a 6-foot senior, gets the nod for the Blue Devils. For St. Paul, number 11, Adam Albertini, coming off, really starting to heat it up towards the end of the season on the offensive end. We hope he can continue that. Number 3, Hall, a 5'9" senior. Is that Hahn? Hahn, I believe that's Hahn, gets the start for the Blue Devils. Easton Dent, another junior for the Indians, gets the start. Freshman Hatterman, I thought they said a freshman, excuse me. Hatton is a 6'1" senior. He's just a freshman, Mike, gets the start for the Blue Devils. Senior Kenny Haney gets the start for the Indians, and now it's Halderman, a 6-foot junior, gets the start for the Blue Devils. Last but not least for the Blue Devils, number 32, Jocelyn, a 6'2" senior. It's a senior-laden team for Sedan, except for the lone freshman. 3 seniors, a junior and a freshman on the floor. Hatton, Jocelyn, Halderman, Hahn, and Sears for the Blue Devils will take the floor. As we get set for tip-off, I want to thank everybody for listening to our Richie's Pharmacy pregame show. Join us tomorrow night, where the Lady Indians for sure will take the floor at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Join us about 5:45 for the Richie's Pharmacy pregame show here tomorrow night, as we are set for tip-off.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good matchup size-wise for the Indians, about fairly evenly matched. We'll see how Kenny Haney does. He's probably the tallest player on the floor. Chandler Bradshaw not far behind, so see if those big guys can take care of business underneath for the Indians. Kenny Haney, those long arms, he's really been tough on defense, got a lot of blocked shots, and really been able to take advantage of that height.
Lemons, Haney, Bradshaw, Diskin, and Albertini are the starter for the Indians. Haney set to tip off against Jocelyn. 8 minutes on the clock, and we are set for this semifinal game between the Indians and the Blue Devils. Haney controls the tip back to Adam Albertini. Albertini with the ball, throws it over to Bradshaw at the right wing. Man-to-man defense applied by the Blue Devils. Albertini with the basketball, drives towards the baseline, pull-up jump shot, too long. Rebound to Joslin for the Blue Devils. He feeds it off to Hahn. Hahn brings the ball down, swings it over to Halderman. Back up top. Now the ball's loose for an instant. Hatton retrieves it. Nope, excuse me, that's Hahn retrieves it. He's pestered out there by Albertini. Swatted away and slid out of bounds. Going to be out of bounds on the Blue Devils. And it's going to go back to the Indians as Haney swatted that basketball away. And here's that full court press applied by the Blue Devils of Sedan. Haney with the basketball, set to put the ball in play, feeds it in to Lemons. Lemons splits the defenders, breaks the press, whips it over to Albertini at the baseline, feeds it to Bradshaw. Bradshaw in, layup good move. Bradshaw with a height advantage over Hahn, so Indians not take advantage of that. They lead here 2-0 early on. Hahn with the basketball. He swings it down to Sears. Sears drives the baseline, shot up, no good, but he's fouled. And he's going to go to the line to shoot two. I believe that's going to be Lemons, whistled for his first foul. First team foul on either team. First foul on Lemons, first team foul on the Indians. As Sears goes to the line to shoot two. He lines up for his first. It's on its way and bangs off the back iron and down and through. 2-1. Indians lead by 1. 7:02 left to go here in the first period, just underway. Sears lines up for a second. 2 for 2 from the line is Sears. And right back in the press comes Sedan. Ahead to Dent. Dent gets it tipped up in the air. Now it's off Albertini. And now the ball's loose on the floor. Bradshaw on the floor after it. It's going to be a jump ball, and that possession area is going to go back to Sedan.
Sedan coach was wanting that backcourt call right on the midcourt line, but they called the jump right before it crossed, I guess.
Sedan basketball off the possession arrow change. In the backcourt to Halderman. Halderman against Bradshaw. He swings it over to Sears. Sears gives to Hahn. Shot up, no good. Haney fights for the rebound. He comes down with it. It's going to be a foul on Hahn. That's the first team foul on Sedan. First on Hahn. Sedan in a little different look for a press now. Now they back up in a little 3-2 zone press. Lemons with it. Lemons walks up, feeds it to Haney, who comes ahead to Albertini. He splits the defender, gets it poked away, out of bounds on the Blue Devils. It'll stay with the Indians. I like the way the Indians are attacking that press. They're getting it poked away from them a little bit, need to control a little bit, try to get some transition layups and move Sedan out of that press. Bradshaw has it. Boy, that has to be a push. It's not. It's going to be out on Sedan. As Adam Albertini set to put the ball in play for the Indians again. Albertini feeds it in to Haney. They need to get it to Bradshaw's hands. He has a big height advantage against Hahn over on the left block. And we need to work that ball around. Albertini drives, kicks it out to Haney. Haney looks inside for Dent. Now he drives to his right, back to his left. Couple of between legs dribble all the way into the rim. Little jump shot off the rim, no good. Dent chases it down, feeds it to Albertini. Three-point shot on the way, long, way long, no good. Rebound comes out to Sedan. And now a steal by Albertini. Albertini pushes the ball, 3-on-2, feeds it back. Now up to Haney, three-point shot by him, off the rim, no good. Rebound to Halderman. Halderman feeds it ahead to Sears. Sears Euro step, shot up, no good. Swats it out to Sears. That was Sears, or Halderman. Halderman with the shot and gives Sedan a 4-2 lead. Albertini right past everybody into Bradshaw. Bradshaw jump shot on the way, good. Little 10-footers. Albertini just streaked right past that pressure for Sedan. Halderman with the ball, feeds it back to Hahn. Hahn holds it over his head. No subs for either team yet. Joslin now with it, or that's Hatton, excuse me, with it. Back to Sears. Halderman, three-point shot on the way, off the rim, no good. And it's going to be off the top of the backboard. It's going to go back to the Indians, out of bounds. That gives Sedan a chance to set up in their press. Albertini feeds it back to Haney. Now to Lemons, back to Haney. Now to Albertini, cross-court pass, tipped up in the air and stolen by the Blue Devils. Albertini just now Hahn all the way in. He's bumped on the floor and it's going to be on the floor. It's going to be a foul on Albertini, and that's going to be the second, third team foul on the Indians. First on Albertini. It'll be Sedan's basketball.
Should just be the second team foul. Got one on Albertini.
Yeah, they changed it now. Second on the Indians. Now lob inside. Shot off the backboard. Too hard. Dent fights for the rebound. Feeds it ahead to Lemons. Lemons drives the baseline all the way into the rim. Layup no good. Rebound out to Joslin for the Blue Devils. He feeds it back to Hahn. Hahn picked up out there by Albertini. Now to Hatton. Hatton against Haney. Drives in, loses it for a minute. Now he's in traffic, tries to feed it to a teammate. Out of bounds it goes, and it's right back to the Indians. Well, this Sedan coach, he likes to help the refs a lot, or at least try to.
He's pretty active.
He's on them every time about every call. He's telling them who tipped that ball out of bounds and who it was off of and who the foul was on or wasn't on. Or now Lemons loses it, kicks it out to Bradshaw, gets it back to Lemons. Lemons up by half court. Guarded by Halderman, gets it off to Adam Albertini. Adam Albertini's picked up by the freshman Hatton. Now off to Bradshaw, whips it in to Haney. Turnaround shot, good by Kenny Haney. Little turnaround hook shot. Gives the Indians a 6-4 lead. That's a travel on Hatton. And it's going to be a turnover on the Blue Devils and gives it back to the Indians. 6-4, Indians up by 2. Feed into Lemons. Lemons crosses over, crosses half court with it, breaks the press. Feeds it off to Haney. Haney was open for 3, feeds it into Dent. Dent in traffic, turnaround left-hand shot, good. 8-4, Indians up by 4. Alderman with the basketball for the Blue Devils. Subs come to the scores table for the Blue Devils. No subs for the Indians yet. Number 14 is Campbell into the game for the Blue Devils. Fed back to Hatton. Hatton crosses over into the lane. Bumped. Throws up a shot. No good. Loses it. And now Lemons comes out of there with it. Lemons pushes the ball down the floor. Feeds it ahead to Bradshaw. Bradshaw holds things up. Step back three-point shot. Way long. No good. Haney tips it in the air, but it goes to Hatton. Now Hatton falls down. Kenny Haney comes up with it. Haney, layup, good.
No, they're going to.
Oh, he's going to call travel on Haney. Subs come in the game as number 3, Hahn, and 32, Joslin, check back into the game. They check in for Halderman and number 23. Well, I don't know who the other subs in for. Hahn with the basketball. St. Paul leads 8-4. Tough travel. Haney hustle. Chased down that loose ball and was away from us, but set his feet and little bunny shot. Thought it was going to be an and one. Instead, it was a travel. Hatton, boy, Dent had a chance at that one. Let it go. Hatton gives it back to Hahn. Hahn drives the baseline against Albertini. Gets away with a little push-off up top. Now ball fake. Shot from the free throw line is off the rim. No good, but Hatton gets the rebound. Now Joslin with it. Pull-up shot off the backboard. Can't get the roll. Albertini fights for it. Good rebound by Adam Albertini. Feeds it ahead to Haney. Haney, spin move. Kicks it out to Bradshaw. Three-pointer. No good. Dent fights for it. Tips it out. Bradshaw has it. Now it's all loose on the floor. And it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with the Indians. Good hustle. Bradshaw on the floor twice here tonight after that basketball, Mike.
Yeah, that's real good effort by Bradshaw and really all the Indians playing with a lot of intensity here early on.
Halderman checks back in for Sedan. Look for the Indians get some subs in here. Start giving some people a little breather here. A lot of energy put out by the Indians. They lead 8-4. 2:16 left to go here in the first. Adam Albertini set to put the ball in play. Looking for somebody. Gets it out to Bradshaw, top of the key. Bradshaw drives all the way to the rim. Blocked by Joslin. Right back down comes Halderman with it. Kicks it back to Hahn, back to Halderman. Poked out of bounds by Lemons. It'll stay with Sedan. Sedan basketball under their own rim. Halderman with the basketball at the baseline. Feeds it into Joslin. Layup no good. Dent, or Bradshaw, swats it up in the air instead of grabbing the basketball. Now Hatton with it. Back to Hahn, three-point shot by him, off the back iron, no good. Kenny Haney tries to get it. Ball's loose. Another hustle ball goes to Sedan. Hahn back with it in his hands. Feeds it into Halderman. Shot up, no good. Gets his own rebound. Put back, short. Now Lemons comes out there with it. Finally, Indians gets a defensive rebound. Now a whistle, timeout. Coach Wadrick, 30-second timeout. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. This is St. Paul basketball at Hot 105. Welcome back to Stopper, Kansas. St. Paul leads 8-4, has possession of the ball. Good ball game here so far. 1:33 left to go in the first. A lot of energy put out by both teams, but the Indians with the same 5 starters on the floor with 1:33 left to go in the first. Coach Wadrick going to stick with them here for now. Albertini with the ball on the inbounds, kicks it off to Bradshaw, Chandler Bradshaw. Down to Lemons in the corner, feeds it into Dent. Dent against Jocelyn, turnaround shot, good. Good move by Dent on the spin towards his left hand, and he gives the Indians a 10-4 lead. Hatton with the basketball, drives towards the lane, kicks it out to Halderman. Halderman back up to Hahn. Hahn feeds it in Jocelyn. It's going to be over the back call on Easton Dent. 13th foul on the Indians. I believe it's a first on Dent. His first foul, Mike.
First foul on Dent.
Colin Carlson comes to the scores table for the Indians. First sub of the game for the Indians, as also Sears comes back in for the Blue Devils. Sears comes in for Hatton, the good-looking young freshman for the Blue Devils. Sedan's basketball under their own rim. Halderman set to put it in play, lobs it up top to Sears, now to Hahn. Hahn looks in at Jocelyn, kicks it back to Campbell. Campbell back to Halderman, drives in, backdoor pass stolen by Albertini. Ball's loose on the floor. Now there's going to be a foul on the Blue Devils. Second team foul on the Blue Devils. That is going to be on number 14, Campbell. As St. Paul leads 10-4, possession of the basketball here. Little 3-2 trap press by the Blue Devils. Albertini drives the baseline. It's going to be a block. And guess what? The Sedan coach doesn't like it.
That's going to be the second foul on number 3.
Hahn with his second foul, third team foul on the Blue Devils. Hatton right back into the game. Sedan coach pleading the case to the ref that called the block. Albertini tried to drive that sideline. Hahn just a little late getting there. Draws his second foul. Has to go to the bench with 44 seconds left to go. Still pleading his case, Mike. Can you believe that?
Well, he was pleading his case the last time, too.
Albertini with the basketball. Indians lead 10-4. Off to Bradshaw at left wing. Off to Adam. Adam at the top of the key above the timeline as they set their offense. 26 seconds as Chase Bradshaw comes to the scores table. Albertini, little pull-up jump shot by Lemons, no good. Rebound's going to come out to Sears for the Blue Devils. Right down the floor comes Sears. Wild, what was a foul on that? He went right in between the defenders. Who's that going to be on?
He's going to be on Bradshaw.
It is going to be on number 24, Chandler Bradshaw. First on him, 14th foul on the Indians. That's going to send Sears to the line to shoot 2. Blue Devils push the ball up and down the floor. You can tell that they really run off of that transition defense. But when they get a rebound, they push the ball. Whoever gets it, they push the ball down the floor hard. You got to get back on defense. Chase Bradshaw checks in for his brother Chandler Bradshaw as Sears missed the first free throw. Score remains 10-4 as he misses the second. Kenny Haney.
Sedan having a tough time making anything fall.
That's okay by us,
That's okay,
Mike.
too. We'll take it.
There's the kiss of death by Mike. They'll make their next 10 shots in a row now. Albertini shot from the elbow off the backboard. No good, and they call it travel on Albertini. How's that a travel? It's called a jump stop. As 1.2 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Campbell set to put the ball in play. feeds it wide open. That should be the quarter, and it is. They can't get the shot off. Boy, it's luckily that they didn't catch and shoot. St. Paul leads 10-4 after the first quarter. We'll be back after this 1 minute timeout. You're at St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to Setopa, Kansas. St. Paul leads 10-4 after the first quarter. Sedan will start the second quarter with possession of the basketball. Let's see if the Indians can keep up this energy into the second quarter in that game for the Indians. Albertini, Chase Bradshaw, Colin Carlson, Lemons, and Haney. Now, ball's loose on the floor, and it's going to be a jump ball, and possession arrow is going to go towards the Indians.
Good job by Carlson. Get down there getting tied up.
Haney set to put the ball in play for the Indians. Full court press applied by Sedan. Albertini with it. As Haney streaks down, feeds it to Kenny Haney from Albertini. Now Lemon's three-point shot long, no good. Joslin with the rebound. That was a carry that got away with it. Halderman comes back down with it. Kicks it out to Campbell. He drives the baseline. Now he's in a little trouble. Shot on the way. Short, no good. Haney with the rebound. Haney pushes down against Hatton. Behind the back dribble, splits the defenders, and he's going to call for a travel. Good idea with Haney. He just needed to keep going to the basket. Chandler Bradshaw checks back in for Chase Bradshaw. Haney checks back in for Colin Carlson. 7:20 left to go in the second period. Indians still up by 6, 10-4. Feed down to the corner to Hatton. Hatton dribbles towards left, towards his elbow. Tries a weak side pass to Joslin. Blocked by Haney. Ball's loose on the floor, goes out of bounds. Out on the Blue Devils. Guess what, Mike?
Coach wants a foul.
Coach wants a foul. He didn't like the call. I'm kidding. He's awful animated, and he sure does talk to the ref and pleads his case every play. Haney feeds it ahead to Lemons. Lemons loses it because he turned around Joslin there. Now the ball's loose on the floor. Hatton comes out there with it. Hatton all the way to the rim, gets it blocked by Haney, and it's going to be a jump ball. Good block by Haney. Possession arrow goes to the Blue Devils on the block. 10-4. Indians up by 6, 6:53 left to go in the second period. 14 fouls on Sedan, 3 on the Indians. Halderman looks for the weak side. Pull-up jump shot from the baseline. No good. Chandler Bradshaw with the rebound. That shot taken by Sears. Bradshaw crosses over at the free throw line. Pull-up shot by Bradshaw off the back iron. No good. And Adam Albertini chases it down. Now Lemons to the rim. Pull-up jump shot off the rim. No good. Tipped around. Controlled by Sedan. Both teams struggling to get a shot to fall now. Now to the corner. Three-point shot on the way. No good. Backside rebound is going to be to Campbell. Foul on the rebound. It's going to be a foul on the Indians because they're pointing Sedan's way.
Yeah, it's going to be on
That's going to be Chandler Bradshaw, his second, team foul number 5 on the Indians with 6:26 left to go here in what? Hatton with the basketball. Crosses over against Haney. Tries to shovel to Joslin. No good. Lemons comes out there with it. Lemon pushes all the way down. Oh, that was a block as he dug underneath him, and it's on Halderman. 6:11 left to go here in the second period. 10-4. pass. Lemons lines up at the free throw line to shoot two. First time the Indians have been to free throw line, right, Mike?
Yeah, it's the first time. We'll see if they can get it going here on the line tonight.
Carlson comes to the scores table for the Indians. Off the back iron, no good. The Indians really struggling to get a shot to fall. We really need to warm up on the offensive end, Mike. We have an opportunity here. I mean, the defense is great, only allowing 4 points. That shows how cold the shooting is, but St. Paul's been stuck on 10 for a while now.
I think they missed the last 6 shots down here.
Second free throw rattles home. So Lemon maybe broke the ice there. The Indians with a 7-point lead. Drive the baseline as Sears shot off the backboard, rolls out, no good, tipped around. Albertini somehow chases that down. Albertini all the way in, rode like a horse, no call, as he can't get the bump call. And boy, all the way to the rim, blocked by Haney, put back by Joslin, no good. Gets his own rebound, put back again is finally good by the Blue Devils.
Coach Watrick lobbying for a call now, too.
I don't blame him. Albertini was fouled hard. Now Dent with the shot, no good. Tipped way out towards half court, and that's going to be, I think that's out on St. Paul.
Officials don't know.
And now everybody's looking at one another. They're going to give it to Sedan as Albertini let the ball go out of bounds, thinking it was off Sedan. Only one official even remotely.
He was the farthest one away from the ball,
and
too.
He half-heartedly pointed towards Sedan direction. That's where it's going to go. 11-6, 5-point leads for the Indians. As Halderman with the ball for Sedan. Albertini's on him, into Hatton. Hatton at the free throw line, pull-up jump shot from the elbow, good. Dent lets him have that little bunny shot, and now all of a sudden it's 11-8, just a 3-point lead, and it's going to be timeout, St. Paul. See if it's a 30 or a 4. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Make it a 1 minute, please. I might have, but I don't remember it if I did. Welcome back. Out of that timeout by St. Paul. Sedan backs out of the press. They stay in a man-to-man, but they pick them up at half court. Haney with the basketball, guarded by Hatton. Here comes Lemons across. Bounce pass to him. Pull up, three-point shot from the baseline. Long, no good. Lemons having a hard time warming up himself. Now Joslin with it. Ahead to Hatton. Hatton all the way to the rim. Reverse layup. Good.
Oh, nice move.
Every Indian letting go by. 4:46 left to go. 11-10. Now the ball's loose on the floor. Now Lemons is going to be fouled. 15 foul on Sedan. First on Hatton, I believe.
Yeah.
St. Paul basketball, 11-10. So pretty good run by Sedan here to get right back in this ball game. Not that they was really out of it. Haney with it. Feeds it to Albertini. Albertini into Dent. Dent right in front of the rim. Turnaround shot goes. As it rattled around and finally fell down. So 13-10, Indians up by 3. 4:30 left to go here in the second period. Halderman with it. Feeds it off to Joslin. Joslin blocked by Haney.
Yeah, we gotta get Haney.
Oh, that was a late whistle.
From way outside, too.
By way out top. Haney with the foul. 16 foul. First on Kenny Haney. That'll send Joslin the line to shoot 2. Joslin's free throw rattles in. One thing about it, Blue Devils have been to the free throw line far more than the Indians. Lemons the only one to go to the free throw line for the Indians. 5 team fouls on the Indians, 6 on the Blue Devils. They're letting them play. At times they blow the whistle and at times they don't. Misses his second. Carlson with the rebound. Albertini drives past the first defender, kicks to Bradshaw. Bradshaw in the lane. Layup good. Boy, he split the defenders. Looked good there all the way to the rim. Right back down comes Halderman for the Blue Devils. Down to the baseline to Hatton. Kenny Haney on him. Now he drives against Haney. High arcing shot. No good. Albertini comes down with it. He splits a couple defenders. About got his head ripped clean, smooth off. Now Lemons layup. Good. And he fouls. Caleb Lemons high off the backboard. Joslin gets him as he makes the shot. And Caleb Lemons is going to go to the line for the and one. 17 to 11. Indians back up by 6 as Lemons tries to make it 7 here. Number 14, Campbell in the game, as well as number 23, Harder for the Blue Devils. Lemons, Haney, and Albertini's played the whole way here so far as Lemons makes the and one, gives the Indians a 7-point lead, 18 to 11. 3:49 left to go in the second. Hatton with it. Feeds it off to Campbell, who just came in the game. Off to Hatterlin. Drives the baseline. He's bumped by Carlson. That's going to send him to the line for the 1-and-1, I believe, as they called it on the floor. Halderman, 17 foul on the Indians. It should be the 1-and-1, and it should send Halderman to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. 17 foul on the Indians, 6 on the Blue Devils. Tate Halderman, the 6-foot junior, to the line to shoot the front end of the 1-and-1. St. Paul leads 18 to 11. 3:38 left to go here in the second period. Free throw on its way. Off the back iron, no good. Long rebound, and on the floor, Halderman comes out with a tough break for the Indians. Now a jump shot on the way by Sears, and he drains the easy jump shots. The Indians didn't recover from Albertini chasing that rebound. Fade back to Albertini. Albertini down to Haney. Haney looks in at Carlson. As Carlson working hard on the block down there low. Working really hard down there on the block. Haney back with it. Albertini to the elbow. He's tripped up, and he's going to go line and shoot the 1-and-1. 17 foul, and that's going to be on Sears. 17 foul on the Blue Devils. Dent comes back to the scores table for the Indians with 3:06 left to go in the second. 5-point ball game, 18 to 13. Indians up by 5. Albertini goes to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Besides Lemons, this is the only other Indian that has went to the foul line. Albertini short. Carlson fights for it, tips it around, loses it, saves it out to Lemons. Good hustle play. Now Lemons to the rim, layup, good. As it hung on the rim forever. Good move by Caleb Lemons. Great hustle by Colin Carlson to keep that ball alive, Mike.
Yeah, Carlson really did a good job fighting under there.
Hatton drives through the lab. Now tries to feed it inside, tipped out of bounds. I think it's off of the Indians. It's going to stay with the Blue Devils. Joslin comes back in for the Blue Devils. He's going to come in for number 23, Harder. Indians need to pick up the new person in on offense as Halderman set to put the ball in play for the Blue Devils. They try to feed into Joslin. Haney skies and steals it. Now he picks up his dribble, comes ahead to Albertini. Albertini into Dent, got position, layup no good. Carlson with the rebound, put back no good. He fights for it, gets it again, and foul. That is all hustle by Colin Carlson right there as he just kept battling away on that rebound. And he's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Man, Carlson is working his rear end off underneath there, and it's really showing too.
Dent misses an easy shot. Good inlet pass by the Indians. Carlson needs to take a deep breath. He's a little bit out of breath here. Here's a free throw. It's on its way. Off the rim. No good. Boy, Mike, you need to give him a little luck. He deserves to make these.
He does.
He worked his tail off under there, fighting and fighting for it. Carlson settles in for a second. It's on its way. It's off the back iron, no good. Rebound loose on the floor. Hatton rolls around everywhere. And it's going to be out on Hatton. It's going to go back to the Indians. 20 to 13, 7-point lead for the Indians. Carlson needs a little breather. Bradshaw comes back in for Carlson as he worked hard down there.
Coach can't believe it. But it's true.
They gave him a little pat on the back, telling him it's going to be okay.
It'll be all right.
Albertini feeds it in. Lemons wide open three-pointer from the baseline. Good! Lemons buries a three, gives the Indians a 22-13 lead. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to Stopa, Kansas. St. Paul leads 22-13 over Sedan. 2:20 left to go here in the second period. Good hard work, a lot of energy put out by the Indians here. See if they can keep this up as Haney, Albertini, and Lemons all have stayed in the entire first half so far. Just Dent and Chandler Bradshaw has got a breather on occasion. Full court pressure applied by the Indians, giving a little back. Hatton breaks the first. Now comes Bass. They have numbers. Tries to shovel it down underneath. Shot up. No good, but he's fouled. He's going to go to the line and shoot two. That's going to be Sears going to the line to shoot two. See who's the foul is on.
Yeah,
it is on Dent, his second. Team foul number 8. Easton's going to have to be careful not to pick up another foul. It's a good switch. Coach Walter going to a little bit of pressure, but don't want any of the Indians getting into foul trouble here, so that press may be short-lived. Sears misses his first. He lines up for his second. It is off, no good. Rebound comes to Hatton somehow for the Blue Devils. Good offensive board by him. Now the ball's loose on the floor, and now it's going to be a tie-up. Oh, somehow they got a timeout. A timeout by the Blue Devils. They're going to grant them the timeout. That ball was loose on the floor. So it will stay with Sedan. We'll go ahead and stay here. Good ball game, Mike.
Yeah, this has been a good ball game. Fast-paced ball game. This first half, both teams just really getting after it. Sedan having a lot of trouble in the first quarter, making anything fall, getting a lot of shots off. St. Paul had a pretty hot first quarter. They've cooled off here a little bit in the second, but a lot of credit to Colin Carlson coming in off the bench. He's played as hard as anyone on the floor and really been part of the reason that St. Paul's got this lead here going with 2 minutes left in the half.
Sedan basketball, 2:04 left to go here in the first half. 22-13, Indians up by 9. Halderman set to put the ball in play for Sedan. Feeds it to the Hatton. Back to Halderman. Now to Campbell. Over to Sears. Sears drives to the free throw line. Double teamed over there. Kicks it out to Campbell. Campbell drives against Dent. Backdoor pass. Jump shot on the way. Looked like a travel. Long rebound comes on the floor to Joslin. And that's going to be a foul on Lemons. That's going to be the 19th foul. Joslin's going to go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. With 1:46 left to go in the second. Second foul on Lemons. 19th foul on the Indians. Indians had a shot there off the shot to get a defensive rebound. Couldn't corral it. But I like their energy level here as Joslin goes to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Need to block out. Hatton got the last one. Long on the rebound, and Adam Albertini comes out there with it. Boy, him and Carlson kind of looked at one another, and Albertini got it right before it went out of bounds. Albertini swings it over to Haney. Haney open for a three. Hatton giving him a lot of room. Feeds it up top to Albertini. Albertini guarded by Sears. Now into Dent at Joslin. Joslin on him. A little bunny shot. Good. Easton Dent against Joslin. And he scores. 11-point lead for the Indians. 24-13. Campbell feeds it to Sears. Now into Joslin. Joslin reverse layup. No good. Haney with the rebound. He gets it poked by Hatton. And it's going to be St. Paul basketball out on the Blue Devils. Blue Devils going to stay in this press. 18 fouls. So if they foul, the Indians will still just be in the 1-and-1. Albertini splits the defenders, and he's going to be tripped by number 4, Halderman, and he's going to go to the line and shoot the 1-1.
They called that on 11.
That's on Hatton. Second foul on Hatton, 9th team foul on the Blue Devils as Harder checks back in for Hatton. Hatton, who just picked up his second foul. As Hayden Smith comes to the scores table for the Indians, he's going to come in for Lemons, give him a little breather. Good minutes put in by Caleb Lemons. Albertini goes to the line, 1-1. 1:04 left to go here in the first half. Albertini's first free throws right through there. And he gives the Indians a 25-13 lead. Indians up by 12. Albertini settles in for his second. It's on its way, and right through there is Adam buries both free throws. Indians hustle back on defense. 1 minute left to go here in the first half. A buzzer went off for some reason. Joslin with it. Back up to Campbell all the way in. Euro step layup. Oh, no. Haney gets whistled for the foul. I thought it was a block, but Kenny said, yeah, I did. He must have got him with the body. 10th team foul on the Indians. Is that the second on Haney?
Yeah, second on Haney.
Okay, Haney don't need to pick up any more fouls neither here in the first half with 51 seconds left. 10th team foul on the Indians, and that sends Campbell the line to shoot 2. He makes the first as Chase Bradshaw comes to the scores table. He's going to come in for Kenny Haney. Good move by Coach Watrick. 26-14, 12-point lead for the Indians. Is that right, Mike?
Yep.
Second free throw's off, no good. Out of bounds. Going to be out on number 23, Harder. 26-14, 12-point lead for the Indians. Possession of the basketball, 50 seconds left. Indians be all right with me if they spread her out and hold it for the last shot. That's what Coach Watrick's saying, but you don't want to have a turnover here. Don't want to be too passive. You want to be passively aggressive, Mike.
That's what I would do, be passively aggressive.
Aiden Smith with it. Boy, he could have got
almost carried, yeah.
Adam Albertini with it. Guarded closely by Sears, who crosses over. Shot from the elbow. Good with 28 seconds left in the first half.
Bread and butter shot for Albertini.
Passively aggressive, Adam Albertini was. Now, off to the right, Joslin, ball fake. Carlson got off his feet, shot up, no good, as Carlson chases it down, feeds it back to Albertini. Now's when you want to take the last shot, Mike. 12 seconds left to go in the half. Lemons into the shot up, no foul call. That's crazy. Lemons back in there again, shot up, no good. Short Joslin with the rebound. Ball's loose on the, they're going to call foul on Lemons with 0.3 of a second left in the first half. And a silly foul, as they never would have got a shot off. And Lemons pleading his case. Is that his third?
That's his third foul.
That is really not a smart foul by Caleb Lemons with 0.3 of a second left. And Coach Watrick pleading his case, and I don't blame him because there's no way Lemons didn't get fouled when he went to the rim. He was bumped hard up above the block as Joslin's going to go to the line to shoot 2 with 0.3 of a second left. It's a double negative there. Not only did Lemons pick up his third foul, but now they're going to get together. I don't know what they're talking about.
I think they're talking about whether it's 1 or 2, maybe.
They should be. We're 10th team foul.
Yeah.
It's a double bonus, 2 shots. Joslin goes to the line to shoot 2 with 0.3 of a second left to go in the first half. So not a good ending for the Indians, regardless if he makes a free throw or not. Lemons picks up his third foul. Chandler Bradshaw checks back into the game for the Indians. 28-14. Indians with a 14-point lead as Joslin lines up for his second. Indians going to block him out here, and he makes it. And the end of the first half is going to result in the score being 28-15. 13-point lead for the Indians. We'll be back with your Health halftime show after this 2-minute timeout. You're St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. She needs a throat lozenge. Welcome back to our Labette Health halftime show here at Chetopa, Kansas, in the 1A regional, hosted here by Chetopa, where St. Paul leads Sedan 28-15, 13-point lead at halftime. St. Paul was up by as many as 14 late in that second quarter. St. Paul led pretty much the entire way so far in this ballgame. Good first half put together by the Indian boys, Mike.
Yeah, a lot of intensity shown by the Indian boys, a lot of help off the bench, and just good play. Anyone that was in the game was giving it 100%, that's for sure. And it's really showed here with the Indians with a nice lead if they can hang on to it. Now, we come out in the second half, the Indians going to have some adjustments to make. They're also going to have to watch on their fouls, as Lemons has 3, Haney and Chandler Bradshaw and Easton Den all have 2 fouls. So, got to be a little bit careful at times, especially early on here in the second half. But the other thing to watch is whether or not fatigue sets in. Fast-paced first half, on the back and forth up and down the floor. And Lemons and Albertini especially spent a lot of time on the floor in that first half.
Lemons, Albertini, and Haney, none of them set foot off of the floor that entire first half. So hopefully they can keep their legs and drilling will drive them through to the end. There are really no qualms about how the Indians are playing. They're playing pretty doggone good defense. You know, we could sit here and complain about a call by a ref here or there, but honestly, the refs calling it pretty equal on both sides, letting them play, usually calling what they're supposed to. I thought Lemons got fouled there, and then he picked up his third foul, probably out of frustration as he drove to the rim. He got bumped hard on that left block. No foul call, and he couldn't get the shot to go, and then it ended up resulting in Joslin get to shoot 2 free throws. He made 1 out of 2, and not only that, but Lemons picked up his third foul with 3/10 of a second left to go in that third quarter, and that can be something that can come back to haunt you later on in this game. See if Coach Watrick elects to start Caleb Lemons in that second or in this third quarter. If he elects to set him for a little while with this 13-point lead, I know what I would do, Mike, if I was Coach Watrick, but I'm not Coach Watrick, and I'm not going to second-guess him for a minute no matter what he does. Indians doing a good job on the floor here in that first half.
He's done he's done a really good job managing the game, especially, calling the timeouts when he needs to, and things start to get moving a little bit against the Indians, which they did on a few occasions. He was quick to call a timeout and get them off the floor and kind of break up the momentum if Sedan was able to get some. Sedan played a pretty good first half overall. Their problem was that first quarter couldn't get any shots to fall. They put a lot of shots up and just couldn't get anything to fall. I didn't get the total shot count for them, but their shoot percentage couldn't have been very good in that first half.
I want to guess that the Sedan during the year have a lot of transition points off of that press. I want to guess that they cause a lot of their – because when they get in their half-court offense now, just because it was the first half, St. Paul playing pretty good defense, give them credit. Not a lot of easy shots to give up by the Indians there in that first half. Doesn't look like Sedan's a big three-point shooting team. They took a few shots from the outside, but they really tried to run their half-court offense. So see what the Indians can do here in the second half, see what kind of halftime adjustments Coach Watrick makes. We're going to have Mike have all the Labette Health first half stats after this next 2-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Thank everybody for listening on the live stream and watching on the live stream. I hope it's coming through loud and clear. So far it looks good on the computer screen. Welcome back to Chatopa, Kansas. Here at halftime, St. Paul leads Sedan 28-15. What do you got for first half stats, Mike?
Yeah, pretty well-rounded first half. A lot of Indians getting points on the board. They're led by Caleb Lemons, who had 9 points in the first half, despite picking up 3 fouls. Easton Dent, good first half from Easton. He put 8 on the board. All those came from inside, where Easton was 4 out of 6. Only missed 2 shots that first half. They'll need to keep working him hard as we move into the second. Albertini had 4 points for the Indians. Chandler Bradshaw, nice night underneath, too. He was 3 of 4 underneath. He's got 6 points in the first half. Kenny Haney also had 2 points for the Indians. Overall shooting, 12 of 30 for 40%. 2-point range, 11 of 23, 47%. Outside the 3-point line, only shot 7 times, only made 1 of them, so 14% outside the arc. And free throws, 50%. They were 4 out of 8 at the free throw line.
So pretty good first half put together by the Indians across the board. 1:44 left to go here before we get the second half underway, as both teams back out on the floor warming up to start this second half. I seen Coach Watrick come signal the scorebook, same starting 5, so he's going to put Lemons out on the floor and trust him not to pick up a 4th foul early on in this third quarter, and we hope that is the case, as I'm sure that went over at halftime. You don't want to become non-aggressive, but you just want to play good, solid defense. Let your teammates support you a little bit, as we are going to get set for the second half. Mike, what do you look for in the second half for the Indians?
I think the Indians' biggest key for the second half, they've got a nice lead here, so it'll be obviously hang on to that lead. The best way they can do that is to keep the pressure on Sedan, play smart, try to keep down the turnovers and cause as many as they can on Sedan. Try to get Sedan take some of these long shots or some of the shots that are low percentage, not let them get anything in close to the basket. If they can do that and maintain the pressure through this second half, not run out of gas, that's my biggest worry. I think they're going to come out all right tonight.
I totally agree on the Indians need to make sure to not have turnovers and also rebound, cause hard, tough shots, low percentage shots on Sedan's end of the floor, get a defensive rebound and get a good offensive possession and not have any turnovers. You know that Sedan's going to ratchet up the pressure here in this second half to try to dig themselves out of this hole, and we'll have to just see how the refs call it here in the second half, as St. Paul will start with possession of the basketball to start the second half. It's going to be Lemons, Dent, Bradshaw, Albertini, and Haney on the floor for the Indians to start the second half.
Yeah, the Indians led turnovers. They were +3 in the turnover department. Indians had 6 turnovers compared to 9 for Sedan.
Man-to-man applied by Sedan. Bradshaw with it. Drives to the free throw line, kicks it out to Lemons. Lemons drives towards the free throw line, loses it. Hatton comes out there with it. Turnover on the Indians to start their opening possession of the second half. 28-15, 7:40. Hatton gets away with a walk. Nobody calls it. Ball's loose on the floor into the backcourt. The Indians didn't touch that. Should be a backcourt. It was not touched by the Indians. I don't know who touched it. It went right between the legs of Sedan. Now Sears with it. He got away with a Joslin layup. Good. So there you go. No backcourt call gives Sedan a chance, and they score 28-17. Lemons loses it. It's back-to-back turnovers ahead to Hatton. Euro step, layup good. Albertini right back down with it. He behind the back dribble, about loses it, feeds it to Lemons, down to Haney. Haney should have drove to the bucket. Now Albertini drives inside, feeds it to Dent. Dent with a couple ball fakes, turnaround shot, good. 30-19, 11-point lead for the Indians. 6:51 left to go here in the third. Hahn with the ball, feeds it to Hatton. Now over to Halderman. Halderman towards the elbow, kicks it up top to Sears, back to Halderman. Looked at a three, passed on it, feeds it back to Hahn, now to Hatton. Hatton at the right wing, drives towards the right elbow, kicks it up to Halderman, over to Hahn, now back to Halderman. Shot from the baseline, long, no good. Long rebound, comes out to Albertini. He chases it down, left-handed layup, low good as he missed it, and he ends up sliding into the backstop. And ahead to Joslin, layup, rolls out, no good. Chandler Bradshaw with the rebound. And Lemons pushes the ball down hard. Couple ball fakes, drives to the elbow, feeds it to Dent. Dent bumped, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Dent to the line to shoot 2.
That's the third foul on number 11.
That is Hatton with his third foul. Dent misses his first off the left iron. It's no good. 30-19. St. Paul leads by 11. Dent lines up for his second. On the way, off the rim, no good. Bradshaw tips around, but Sedan's, it's going to be Sedan. That's out on Bradshaw.
They don't know who to call again. One referee down here, and nobody else saw it.
As it goes back to Sedan, I thought it was out on Bradshaw too, so I'm not going to complain about that too much. But Sedan basketball, 11-point lead as Dent misses both the free throws. It could come up big. And that's going to be a carry. Turnover on Sears for Sedan. Gives it right back to the Indians. Hatton with 3 fouls here, still on the floor. Going to have to be careful. I think his coach just told him that. Not to pick up a 4th foul as Lemons dribbles right past the press. Gets a poke away from behind. How is that not a foul? As it's going to stay with the Indians as it's poked out by Sedan. As Adam Albertini set to put the ball in play for the Indians. He looks, feeds it up top to Lemons. Lemons drives to the free throw line. Shot from the elbow, blocked. Bradshaw comes out with it. Bradshaw pushes it back to Lemons. Lemons spins to his right, top of the key. Now the Indians reset. And now almost a steal by the Blue Devils. It goes out on the Blue Devils. Stays with the Indians. As Haney set to put the ball in play for the Indians. Feeds it to Albertini out by the half-court line. 5:29 left to go in the third. 11-point lead for the Indians as the Indians try to get their offense set here in their 5 game. Albertini, screen set by Bradshaw, feeds it into Dent. Dent double team, back out to Bradshaw. Bradshaw inside, kicks it out to Lemons. Lemons now drives to the elbow, shot on the way, off the rim, no good. Haney saves it back to Lemons. As they reset, good offensive possession or good offensive rebound by. Now all the way to the rim comes Lemons. He's fouled and he's going to go to the line to shoot 2. Second team foul on Sedan. Second foul on number 4, Halderman, as Caleb Lemons goes to the line to shoot 2. 30-19, 11-point lead for the Indians. 5 minutes left to go here in the third. Lemons lines up for his first. It's on its way and right through there. (31-19), 12-point lead for the Indians. 5 minutes left to go in the third. Lemons lines up for his second, receives the ball. 2 dribbles, shots on the way. Gets it to go as it rolls over the front of the rim. I almost called it short. Haldeman right back down with the basketball. Bradshaw cuts him off, whips it up top to Hatton, around to Hahn, all the way around to Sears. Joslin sets a screen, moving screen. Hatton falls down on the ground, keeps dribbling. Now steal by Lemons.
They double dribble, but that's all right.
Lemons all the way to the rim. Tough shot. He gets it to go somehow. What a shot as he split 2 defenders. Coach Watrick wanted the foul. Never got it. 34-19, 15-point lead for the Indians. Joslin gets it poked away by Lemons, but ends up in Hahn's hands. Shot up, no good. Dent with a rebound. Albertini pushes it down. Haney's on the weak side. He doesn't seam. Albertini with the floater off the backboard. Good. Timeout, Sedan, 36-19. 17-point lead for the Indians. 4:22 left to go here in the third. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout. Let's St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Just a 30-second, please. Welcome back to Chitopa, Kansas. 36-19. St. Paul up by 17. St. Paul taking it right at Sedan off of those defensive rebounds, really pushing the ball down the floor, and really with some tough shots, and they're getting them to go. Lemons and Albertini with back-to-back really tough shots where there could have been fouls called. Sedan basketball coming out of the timeout. Hatton. Now Sears to the rim, and he's going to be fouled by someone. See who it is, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. And that's going to be on Adam Albertini.
His second.
Adam don't like the call, and didn't look like much contact, but Sears went hard to the rim. Second foul on Adam. First team foul the second half on the Indians as Sears gets the first to fall. Sears lines up for his second. It's on its way and rattles in good as Sedan stays in the man-to-man. Full court pressure. Actually, it's a little zone trap pressure. Lemons splits a couple defenders, spins away from the first. Spins away, drives the baseline, tries to kick it back to Dent and loses it. Now it's to Halderman with the ball. And that's going to be on Adam Albertini. Just picked up his third foul. And second team foul on the Indians as Albertini ended up on the floor hard. So now Lemons and Albertini both with 3 fouls. Hatterman for Sedan playing with 3, still on the floor also. Feed up top, way up top to Hahn. Hahn drives in, kicks to Hatton, has it poked away. Hahn comes back with it. Up top, shot from the elbow on the way by Sears is good. 36 to 20 or 36 to 23, 13-point lead for the Indians. Haney with it. Haney tries a wild pass, ball's loose on the floor. Sedan comes out there with it. Not a good possession by the Indians, and I don't know what Kenny Haney was trying to do. Hatton with a 3-point shot, off the rim, no good. Rebound, tipped up in the air, put back no good. Hatton with the rebound.
I think Adam Albertini just got his 4th foul. I'm not sure. He's right in the middle of it. Yep, it is.
3 fouls in a row by Adam Albertini, and that's his 4th. 3:19 left to go in the third quarter. Sears with it, jump shot on the way, long, no good. Somehow Hahn comes out of it with it, and Haney swats it out of bounds as Albertini's going to have to come in the game. Colin Carlson goes in. So now Kenny Haney, Bradshaw, and Lemons are going to have to handle the ball handling for the Indians. Probably should have got Albertini out of there with this kind of a lead for a little break. Feed into the backcourt to Sears, back to Hatton. Hatton drives to the free throw line, kicks it over to Hahn. Sears, jump shot on the way, short, no good. Haney with the rebound. Now Sedan retreats into their half-court defense. Haney feeds it up top to Bradshaw. Bradshaw hands it off to Lemons. Lemons with a lot of pressure by Halderman. No foul call. Now Lemons drives to the left. And he gets a little shove. Pass inside to Dent. Layup good. Halderman comes right back down to basketball. 2:33 left to go in the third. 15-point lead for the Indians. Now Lemons loose on the floor. Still loose. Lemons gets hit right in the head.
Yeah, face went right down on the floor. Fell on the back of
ball
Lemons' head.
is going to go to Sedan. Possession arrow is going to go to Sedan as Lemon up off the floor. 38-23, 15-point lead for the Indians. 2:26 left to go here in the third.
That's one of those deals where you lose a tooth when you get your face smashed in the floor like that.
He went after the ball. Lemon's playing with 3 fouls on the floor also. He's done a good job not picking up his 4th here in the third quarter. 2:26 left to go in the third. 38-23, 15-point lead for the Indians. Feeds it in the backcourt to Campbell, who's in the game. Now Sears tries to get into Joslin. Ball's loose. Hatton ends up with it. Shot up, and somebody fouls him. And Hatton's going to go to the line to shoot 2. I think that might be on Haney.
Yeah, it is
on Haney. Is that his third?
That's his third.
Third on Kenny Haney. So the Indians starting to get in foul trouble. 2:17 left to go here in the third. And the 4th team foul all of a sudden on Indians. 3 of the team fouls here in this third period is on Adam Albertini's. Hatton takes his time. First free throw is good by Hatton. 38-24. Indians up by 14. Indians need to take about 2:17 and score with the last possession of the third quarter.
Yeah, now it's time to be patient.
turning that basketball over. Hatton's second free throw high. Arkin shot no good. Carlson gets the rebound. Carlson with a couple ball fakes gets it head to Bradshaw. Bradshaw pushes the ball down the floor, crossed half court. Now pulls up above the timeline as Campbell out there on him. Crossing over, back and forth. He dribbles to his left, hands it off to Haney. Haney back up top to Bradshaw. Bradshaw dribbles around the screen, picks up his dribble, in a little trouble now, feeds it back to Haney. Haney towards the rim, shot from the elbow, short, no good. Rebound to Campbell, not a great shot by the Indians. 1:44 left to go here in the third, 38-24, 14-point lead. Halderman to Hatton. Hatton drives in there, and a trip to the floor, no call. Bradshaw comes out there with it, waiting for a whistle, nothing happened, and Hatton just lost it. Colin Carlson wisely picked the ball up as Halderman on Lemons. Lemons drives around the first, drives towards the baseline, and it's going to be a block on Halderman.
That's the third foul on Halderman.
As St. Paul's basketball under their own rim. Hahn to the scores table for Sedan. 1:16 left to go in the third. Halderman really up on Lemons, playing him tight. Now Hahn comes in for Halderman, who's just picked up his third foul. 13th foul on Sedan. Bradshaw looking. Timeout by Coach Watrick. A wise timeout as Bradshaw getting close to the 5 count. Timeout St. Paul. We'll go ahead and stay here. 38-24, 1:16 left to go here in the third period. Adam Albertini on the bench with 4 fouls. Kenny Haney with 3. Caleb Lemons with 3.
One of the things we talked about coming into the second half here, Dan, is important for St. Paul is to keep the turnovers down. Right now, 4 turnovers on St. Paul. I think 3 of those coming very early on in this third quarter, only 2 on the part of Sedan. So St. Paul definitely going to have to watch the turnovers and really watch the fouls now.
It's going to be St. Paul basketball under their own rim. Coach Watrick had to burn a timeout. Was getting close to the 5 count. Good defense by Sedan. 1:16 left to go in the third period. 38-24. St. Paul up by 14 with possession of the basketball.
Pretty evenly matched teams, really. Sedan just not been able to get a lot of their shots to fall, but overall, watching them back and forth down the floor. That's
credit the Indians' defense on that.
Yeah.
Playing good defense, Mike, causing tough shots. And when Halderman in the game, he has really took Sedan, grabbed the offense by himself, and has really been the aggressor on trying to get open for some shots. Still going to be as they wipe sweat up off the floor out of the huddle, as we are now ready, set for play, as Bradshaw going to put the ball in play for the Indians again. Carlson, Haney, Dent, Lemons, and Bradshaw in the game for St. Paul. Boy, Hahn just mugged Lemons, and it's going to stay with St. Paul out on Hahn. They are all over Lemons. He needs to keep his head here and let the fouls come to him. As Bradshaw going to set to put the ball in play again. It was out on Sedan, as here comes the screens as they try to feed it inbounds, and it's Joslin knocks it out of bounds. The Indians really
having trouble getting it in for sure.
As Bradshaw now on the sideline. It's going to be sideline inbounds play, and here comes the inbounds play. As Lemons tries to get open, they feed it into the backcourt to Haney. 1:12 left to go in the third. Haney up above the timeline, dribbles to his left. Now between the leg dribble. Feed into Carlson. Carlson spins in the lane, throws up a shot, gets it to go.
Little jump hook shot there by Colin Carlson. Got it to go.
55 seconds left to go in the third. Hahn with it to Hatterman, up to Sears. Sears over to Campbell, I believe. Back to Hatton. Hatton guarded by Haney. Needs to be careful here. Now Joslin sets a screen. Hatton, good contested shot by Haney. Haney comes out there with a rebound. Haney dribbles back into the backcourt, crosses over, loses it, ball's loose. Now Bradshaw comes out there with it. Bradshaw hands it back to Lemons. 27 seconds left to go in the third. St. Paul to 16-point lead. Lemons up above the timeline. Now Hahn up on him. He's got his hands on him. 17 seconds. Sets a screen by Haney. Now Lemons all the way to the rim. Shot up, no good. Tough shot. Joslin with the rebound. 9 seconds. Ahead to Hatton. Hatton by Haney. Looks up at the score clock. Shot up, no good. Bradshaw's rebound. 2 seconds, 1 second. He's up a shot. Hits the iron, no good. Hits the rafter is the iron I'm talking about. So St. Paul 40-24 after third quarter. We'll be back after this 1 minute timeout with St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Dana, just make it a 30, please.
Might be a 1 minute one.
Huh?
Might be a 1 minute commercial. Just that long one, that Whitaker one.
Welcome back to Chautauqua, Kansas, here as St. Paul leads 40-24, up by 16 going into the fourth quarter. St. Paul has won 3/4 of this game, Mike. They need to finish it off here.
Yeah, it's probably the most uncomfortable 16-point lead they've had with the pressure put on by Sedan down here, especially on defense.
Albertini feeds it in to Bradshaw. Now back to Albertini. About a minute of possession would be great without a turnover, and obviously result in a score if you could. Lemons with it. Lemons guarded by Halderman. Screen set by Dent. Now foul on the floor by Hahn. Fourth team foul on Sedan. It'll be St. Paul basketball under their own rim. Albertini back on the floor with 4 fouls. Haney with 3. Lemons with 3. How about Bradshaw and Dent, Mike?
Chandler Bradshaw's 2 and Dent with 2.
Feed back into the backcourt to Bradshaw. Hands it back to Albertini. Just underway here in the fourth quarter, 40-24. Albertini splits the defenders, throws a shot up. Oh, can't get it to go, but it's going to be out on Bradshaw and go back to Sedan. Almost got a tough shot to go.
That was the 4th foul on number 4 for Sedan.
Halderman picked up his 4th. He drives down against Bradshaw. Bradshaw cuts him off. The ball pops loose for a minute. Now Sears with it. Sears feed into Joslin. Layup good. Full court pressure applied by Sedan. Bradshaw with it. Loses it. Feeds it ahead to Haney. Haney back dribble, and now a steal, and it's going to be Adam Albertini just fouled out of the game.
Yeah, that's
Adam Albertini just fouled out of the game. 7:09 left to go in the game. 14-point lead for the Indians. Indians not taking that pressure well as Albertini just fouls out of the game. A minute or 51 seconds into the fourth quarter. Sedan basketball. Hahn with it. Feeds it over to Hatton. Hatton pull up, jump shot on the way. Off the back iron, no good. Gets his own rebound. Steps into the lane. Hahn with a little floater. In and out, no good. And that's going to be a foul over Hatton's back. As St. Paul unable to get a defensive rebound. Let Hatton keep getting on the board. 16 foul on the Indians.
That's going to be the 3rd on Chandler Bradshaw. So now you got 3 on Haney, 3 on Bradshaw, 3 on Lemons.
St. Paul basketball backside, and it's going to be a walk on Sears as the backdoor play came open to Sears with the walk. Haney set to put the ball in play for the Indians. Feeds it in to Bradshaw. Bradshaw double team, feeds it back to Haney, ahead to Lemons. Lemons pushes the ball down, now pulls up top above the timeline, feeds it over Chandler Bradshaw. Bradshaw holds the basketball. Screen set by Haney. Now Carlson feeds it to Lemons. Lemons up above the timeline. Hesitates. Drives around one. Now all the way to the rim. Blocked. The rebound comes out to Hahn. Hahn loses it. Now it goes back to Bradshaw. And Joslin tries to take a flop. It's going to be a block on him. 15 foul on Sedan. And how many? Just a second on Joslin. St. Paul basketball. 6:22 left to go in the game. 14-point lead for the Indians. Feed into Haney. Back to Bradshaw. Bradshaw against Hahn. Feeds it up to Carlson. Carlson to his right to Haney. Haney holds it, guarded by Hatton. Hatton up tight on him. Needs to dribble, and that is a 5-second call as Kenny Haney sat there with the basketball and held it. and just let Hatton stay right up on him. He didn't dribble. Another turnover on the Indians. The Indians need to turn around as here comes Halderman all the way to the rim. Kicks it out to Hahn. Hahn in, kicks it out to Joslin. Shot from the elbow, short, no good. Carlson chases it down.
Boy, Lemons looks tired too, Dan.
Carlson pulls up at half court, and it's going to be a timeout. Coach Watrick, full timeout. We'll be back after this 1 minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to Stoppa, Kansas. St. Paul leads 40-26, 5:50 left to go in this game. Kenny Haney set to put the ball in play for St. Paul back behind the half-court line as Carlson wasn't across half court. And that's going to be a foul. He just fouled out of the game.
Yeah,
Halderman just fouled out of the game, picking up his fifth 16 foul on the Blue Devils. That's going to bring Campbell to the scores table to come in for Halderman. Now Halderman is fouled out, as well as Albertini for the Indians. Halderman for the Blue Devils. Play good defense, Halderman does. So we'll see how the Blue Devils adjust. Counts on, feed off to Lemons. Lemons holds the ball at right wing. Now Dent comes up to set a screen. Off to Haney. Haney holds the ball, dribbles to his right. Tries to feed it to Carlson on a tough pass. It's going to be out on Joslin, and it's going to stay with the Indians.
That's good news. The Indians going to be able to hang on to it here.
Bradshaw set to put the ball in play for the Indians. 5:29 left to go in the game. 14-point lead. Indians don't look real comfortable without Albertini on the floor. Feed into Dent. Dent against Joslin. Joslin. Now Haney with it. Count is
Count's on again.
And now Haney drives to his right, loses it. The ball's loose on the floor, and it's going to be possession. Sedan.
Well, they get Sedan a timeout. No, they're going to wave that off.
Didn't have, I don't know what they're going to call now. Well, now they're talking.
I think
they're going to do timeout. Sedan. They granted him the timeout. Is now, I guess they are going to give him timeout and possession of the ball. 5:15 left to go in the game. 40-26, St. Paul up by 14. St. Paul not looking very comfortable on offense, Mike.
No, they're really struggling now to keep it together. And luckily they got a lead, though.
Just like we figured, Sedan really picking up the pressure. And they're wanting Kenny Haney to really take control of this game. And Hatton's up on him, up on him playing tight. Haney's not real comfortable, has it been. We need Chandler, Bradshaw, and Lemons to really step up to the plate here.
Yeah.
With Colin Carlson and Easton Dent, both kind of post players, so not real good, I don't want to say not real good ball handlers, but not the primary ball handlers. May have to look at getting Chase Bradshaw in there, maybe another ball handler in there, Hayden Smith, down the stretch here to give him a little break. Lemons looking a little fatigued also with 5:15 left to go in the game.
That's right. You also want to give some credit to Sedan's defense. They're really putting the pressure on and making St. Paul commit errors and things that they don't want to do, and so credit them. They're doing just what they need to do to give themselves a chance to get back in this game.
Sedan basketball, 40-26, 14-point lead, 5:15 left to go in the game. Campbell feeds it into Hahn. Hahn kicks it off to Hatton. Bounce pass into Hahn. Shot up good from the baseline. Tough shot put in there by Hahn. Feed into Chandler Bradshaw. He's double teamed. Feed back to Haney. Back to Bradshaw. Need to push the ball down the floor. Bradshaw loses it, feeds it ahead to Lemons. Lemons, all kinds of contact. Joslin. Boy, Joslin he doesn't like any fouls being called on him. As that's going to send Lemons to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, that'll be third foul on 32 on Joslin.
Joslin and Lemons jawing back and forth, and Lemons, as Joslin, every time he gets a foul called, he clapped in the ref's face a little bit ago. I was surprised he didn't get teed off. Well, Lemons is going to shoot 2. 4:51 left to go in the game. 12-point game. Lemons steps to the line to shoot 2. Lemons, 17 foul on Sedan, 6 on the Indians. Lemons' first shot, long, no good. As Lemons settles in for his second, 12-point lead for the Indians. 4:51 left to go in this game. Lemons settles in for his second. It's on its way and right through there. Back up to 13 for the Indians. On with the basketball. Indians settle in their man-to-man defense. On, feeds it to Joslin. Joslin guarded by Carlson, spins against him, loses it. Dent comes out of the way. Now Dent needs to slow things up, let a guard get down there. Feeds it back to Bradshaw. Good job by Easton Dent. Now ahead to Lemons. Lemons drives around the first. He's going to be fouled on the floor. 18 foul, and he's going to go to the line and shoot the 1 and 1. 1 and 1.
That's his third.
Lemons. Do what, Mike?
That's on number 3. That's his third.
Hahn's third foul. 18 foul on Sedan. 4:32 left to go in the game. As Lemons settles into the line for the front end of a 1 and 1. 18 foul on Sedan. 6 on Indians. So the next foul against the Indians will put the Blue Devils in the bonus. Lemons' front end of the 1 and 1's on its way right through there and good. Good job by Caleb Lemons.
Lemons doing the work for the Indians on the free throw line. That's his 8th free throw, so
they're going to have to down the stretch here. You know they're going to be aggressive on that defense. Lemons settles in for his second. It's on its way and right through there. 43-28, 15-point lead for the Indians. 4:31 left to go in the game. Hahn with it, feeds it to Joslin, back to Hatton. Hatton guarded by Haney, back to Hahn. Hahn guarded by Lemons. Long three-point shot, good. Lemons with it. He drives around the first, and it's going to be a block on Hahn, and that's going to give Lemons, Lemons is going to go to the line for the front end of 1-1. 19 foul. Hahn doesn't like the call.
That's fourth on him.
A lot of antics by Sedan.
Yeah.
As 19 fouls, so Lemons is going to have to go back to the line, shoot the front end of a 1-1. 43-31, 12-point lead for the Indians. 4:13 left to go in the game. This is going to be a long 4 minutes and 13 seconds, Mike.
They're going to draw this out. They keep Lemons at the line, though. Be all right.
Lemons settles in for the front end of the 1-1. 19 foul on Sedan, so the next foul on Sedan will put the Indians in the double bonus. Lemons gets the roll on the first as it crawls over the front of the rim and crawls in. Lemons settles in for his second. On its way and rattles in and falls through. Back up to a 14-point lead for the Indians. On with the basketball. On hold, feeds up to Sears. Sears drives towards the baseline. Shot up, no good. Rebound, loose. And it's going to be off a Dent. It's going to stay with Sedan. Hatton is, that young freshman is all over the place. He is a rebounding fool up underneath the rim for Sedan, even on the offensive end. Indians need to put a body on him. Hahn set to put the ball in play, feeds it to Hatton. Hatton looks into Joslin, tipped up in the air by Carlson. Joslin chases it down, way outside the three-point line. Back to Hahn, three-point shot. Short, no good. Chased down by Joslin, layup blocked by Dent. Carlson with the rebound. Oh, no.
Call foul on.
That's a late call as Dent blocked that way up in the air. And they didn't blow the whistle until Carlson chased that rebound down. That's going to send Joslin line to shoot the 1-1 with 2 shots. Joslin's going to go to the foul line for 2 shots with 3:48 left to go in the game. Boy, that was a late call.
Yeah, they must be saying he got him with the body because it was all ball up there with his hands for sure.
I don't think it would have called it, but Joslin ended up on the ground as Joslin misses the first free throw. Coach Watcher pleading for the Indians to block out. Wants Haney to get a backside on to Hatton because he does know how to rebound. As Joslin gets the bounce, it goes in. Haney holds the basketball, holds it. Into Lemons. He feeds it into Lemons. Now it's tipped out of bounds by Hahn and stays with the Indians.
Hahn just came streaking in there, kind of caught Lemons napping a little bit there, and I think he surprised him coming in.
As Chase Bradshaw is going to come in for Kenny Haney. As Easton Dent's going to put the ball in play for the Indians. As Easton Dent set to put the ball in play, full court pressure applied by the Blue Devils. Feed into Chase Bradshaw, back to Lemons. Lemons drives around the first couple guys and loses it. Right back to Hatton it goes. Hatton in towards the rim, shot up, no good. Rebound Hahn. He loses it to Dent, then Dent loses it. Now he chases it back down. It's everywhere, and it's going to be out on sedan and go back to the Indians.
Wow, that freshman is something down there. He is all over the place.
He was chasing that ball everywhere.
Wow.
Somehow Dent ended up back with the basketball in his hand. Now they let Haney into the game, back in for Colin Carlson. So now we got Chase and Chandler Bradshaw and Lemons all in there, and Haney that can handle the basketball. So good job by Coach Watrick getting a couple more ball handlers in there. Bradshaw back to Haney, ahead to Lemons. Lemons drives around, kicks it to Dent on the weak side. He gets it swatted out of his hands by the young freshman. Now Bradshaw with it, and he loses it. And they're going, who they call it, a walk-on.
Oh, travel on Bradshaw. So he rolled over, I think, with it.
As it's going to be Sedan's basketball. 13-point lead for the Indians. 3:14 left to go in the game. Ooh, Campbell with the basketball feeds it into Hahn. Hahn dribbles to his right, being patient here, up top to Hatton. Hatton over to Joslin. Joslin, long three-point shot. Good. 45-35, 10-point lead for the Indians. Feed into Bradshaw. Bradshaw behind the leg dribble. Steal by Hahn on a bad pass by Bradshaw. Feed back. Shot blocked by Bradshaw, and that's going to send Campbell to the line to shoot two.
And that'll be the fourth foul on Chandler Bradshaw.
Campbell goes to the line to shoot two. Indians lead by 10. 2:46 left to go in the game. It'll be a two-shot foul. Campbell at the line, first free on the way, no good. Campbell, Eli Campbell, a 5'10 sophomore for Sedan. Campbell settles in for his second. It's on its way short, and Bradshaw gets the rebound. It's kind of lazy block out by everybody. Now Lemons with it, dribbles towards half court, almost stepped behind half court. He dribbles towards the elbow, now tries to feed it to Dent. Dent loses it. Another turnover on the Indians. Tough feed as Hatton comes back down with it. Feeds it. It should have been a travel. Hahn pushed off twice, and he gets the shot to go, and it's an 8-point ball game with 2:22 left to go in the game. Feed into Dent, back to the Lemons. Lemons feeds it across the court, out of bounds. Nobody home. 8-point ball game, 2:15 left to go in the game.
This is a time where the Indians are going to have to settle down and just maintain this lead, play smart defense.
St. Paul basketball. Campbell set to put on play, feeds it into Hahn. Hahn to the corner. That's a walk. Shot front, good by Sears. 6-point ball game. Cross-court pass to Bradshaw. St. Paul basketball. He crosses over. All kinds of pressure. He's triple teamed out there. Tipped out. It's out on Sedan. It'll stay with the Indians. 1:57 left to go in the game. 6-point lead for St. Paul. Haney with the basketball. Feeds it into Chase Bradshaw. Nobody up on him. Just stand there and hold it, Chase, until somebody comes out on you. Hands it back to Lemons. 1:50 left to go in the game. Chandler Bradshaw with it at the right wing. Campbell on him. Swats at the basketball. He drives around Campbell. Now picks up his dribble. Feeds it off to Lemons. Lemons picked up by Hahn. 1:37 left to go. Pass to Haney. Layup good, and he's fouled.
Oh, that was a nice move by Lemons.
Good job
coming in there.
by Lemons, driving in and then feeding that to Haney. And Haney converts, and he's fouled. So back up to an 8-point lead for the Indians with 1:33 left to go in the game.
That's fourth foul on 32.
Joslin picks up his fourth. Kenny Haney to the line to try to shoot the and one. He settles in at the line. It's on its way. Long. No good. Chase Bradshaw didn't be careful there. Joslin back down with the basketball. Boy, he bouncing it off his hip and everywhere. Campbell with it. Don't give up a three here. Hahn up top to Sears. Sears with the ball fake. Drives inside. Step back shot. Short. Hatton with the rebound. Put back no good, but he's fouled.
That's going to be a foul on, if that's on Bradshaw, that'll be his fifth.
It's going to be on number 2, Chase Bradshaw. And that's going to send Hatton to the line to shoot 2 with 1:17 left. Coach Wuttrick not happy with the Indians not blocking out because they had an opportunity off the miss and couldn't secure the rebound. 8-point lead for the Indians, but Hatton at the line to shoot 2, misses his first. Colin Carlson comes back to the scorer's table. I'm not sure as he checks in for Chase Bradshaw.
Well, Sedan's missed a lot of shots.
1:17 left to go in the game. 47-39. 8-point lead for the Indians. Hatton at the line to shoot his second. Indians need to block out here. And he misses the second. Dent comes down with it. Dent feeds it back to Haney. Haney's picked up by Hatton at half court. Haney all the way in, kicks it out to Colin Carlson. Kicks it back up top. Good job by Carlson, feeding it back up to Bradshaw. Bradshaw loses it. Picks it back up. And now Coach Wuttrick gets a timeout. 1:03 left to go in the game. 47-39. Coach Wuttrick gets a timeout. It's a full timeout. We're going to go ahead and stay here and talk about this barn burner, Mike.
Whew, I'm glad he called that timeout. I need a break. This thing is just back and forth. You know, St. Paul's got an 8-point lead here, but wow, Sedan is just really doing everything they can to put themselves back in a position to take care of business, and St. Paul's struggling underneath to get blocked out, get those rebounds. I think they're afraid they're going to commit a foul now that they're in a little bit of foul trouble, so they're not playing nearly as aggressive as what they were earlier. So that, you know, St. Paul's going to have to hang on here if they're going to come out of this.
1:03 left to go in the game. 47-39. St. Paul leads by 8. Possession of the basketball, but they're going to have to inbound the ball as Sedan 10-team fouls. So Indians in the double bonus the rest of the way. They just need to take care of the basketball. And Bradshaw is going to have both Bradshaw boys back in the game. Easton Dent, Lemons, and Kenny Haney.
St. Paul 11 turnovers here in the second half. That's really hurt them.
Coach Wuttrick has any timeouts left. He's burned a lot of timeouts here in this second half. Yeah. It's tight pressure by Sedan. Here comes the end balls. Jumping up and down is Campbell. Feeds it into the backcourt to Lemons. Lemons drives all the way to the rim. Floater on the way. No good. Hatton with the rebound. Hatton all the way back down, kicks it to Campbell. Campbell way underneath the rim, off of Bradshaw's foot, and they're going to call it a kick off of Bradshaw. Indians need a man up here, get a defensive rebound, and don't give up an easy on the inbounds play. Hahn with the basketball, feeds it to Hatton. Hatton underneath the rim, blocked by Haney. Oh, they're going to call a late foul as Hatton is going to go to the line to shoot 2 with 44 seconds left to go in the game.
That'll be the fourth on Haney.
Fourth foul on Kenny Haney. 10th team foul on the Indians as Hatton goes to the line to shoot 2. St. Paul leads 47-39 by 8 with 44 seconds left to go in the ballgame. Hatton's first shot is long off the rim, no good. 43.8 seconds left to go in the game. Hatton lines up for his second. Indians need to block out as Hatton wipes both of his shoes. Couple dribbles on its way, and it's off the rim, no good. Dent chases it down. It's going to be out on Joslin. Oh, that's not out on Easton Dent. Joslin, Dent both going after it. That's a break for Sedan because I thought that was out on Joslin. As Sedan's basketball, Hahn set to put the ball in play for Sedan. Looks, feeds it high up to Joslin. Joslin guarded by Dent. Feeds it out to Campbell. Campbell tries to drive the baseline, kicks it back to Joslin. Long three-point shot. Short, no good. Long rebound comes Chandler Bradshaw. And that's going to be a jump ball as Hatton reaches in there and grabs it. It's going to be Sedan basketball with 31 seconds left to go in the game. St. Paul still leads by 8.
That Hatton is just playing so aggressive in there.
Hahn set to put the ball in play for Sedan. As they look to inbounds, it looks, feeds it back high to Sears, and that should have been a carry. And he layup no good. Hatton with the rebound, put back no good, gets his own rebound again.
There's going to be a foul.
And who's that going to be on?
Bradshaw.
Hatton's going to go to the line to shoot 2 more as he is just all over the place.
Yeah, it's on Chase.
And that's going to be on Chase Bradshaw. 21.6 seconds left to go in the game. St. Paul leads by 8.
Hatton's missed the last 4 from the free throw stripe, though.
Hatton settles in at the line. He misses it.
There's 5 in a row.
Of the back iron. I'm going to punch you right in the teeth if he makes this one, Mike.
I was trying to
you're just
put the whammy on him.
You're just a slow alert. He misses it again. Dent with a rebound. Good call, Mike.
Save my teeth.
Chandler Bradshaw, 18 seconds left. The Indians just need to run the clock out, and a turnover on the Indians. Right back to Hahn. 13-12. Hatton layup good. 9 seconds. Clock still running. Now timeout by Sedan. St. Paul with a 6-point lead with 7.5 seconds left to go in the game. Timeout. Sedan. Stick around for our KW Trucking postgame show. As St. Paul leads 47-41. It's a good thing St. Paul had a 16-point lead going into this quarter.
It is, yeah.
Because I got a feeling they're going to need every second. 47-41, 7.5 seconds left to go in the game. St. Paul basketball is going to inbound it on the opposite end of the court. Bound to try to get a steal is Sedan. If they can't, they're going to foul immediately.
Yeah.
So Indians just really need to hang on to the basketball. First, need to get possession of the basketball. And then one of the good things, Mike, is even if you curl up on the ball, we have the possession arrow.
Right.
So the next jump ball goes to the Indians. If you get it inbound, just wrap up on it. Let them call a jump ball. Let the clock run as long as it can. Move around as much as you can. Curl up on it. Get the jump ball. If they don't give the foul, you get the jump ball. You still have the possession arrow and you burn. Now they put a second back on the clock. There's 8.5 seconds left to go in the game.
Now if you're Sedan, you want to try and get a 3, I'm guessing, here quick.
Well, they got to get possession of the
It's
basketball.
It's Sedan's ball, doesn't it?
No.
Didn't
St.
Sedan
Paul's
call
basketball. Sedan called a timeout off their make, off of Hatton's make.
Yeah, that's right.
47-41, 6-point lead for St. Paul, and possession of the basketball. Oh, give it to Bradshaw. Baseball pass to Dent. Dent chases it down, and now he's going to be pushed by Joslin, and then Dent's going to go to the line.
Joslin just fouled out, I believe.
Shoot 2, and Joslin just fouled out of the game. And Easton Dent's going to go to the line to shoot 2 with 5.8 seconds left to go. Then St. Paul leads by 6.
Well, I thought they were going to turn that over just through that pass.
Chandler Bradshaw came open close to Haney, but Haney elected to go with a baseball pass with Dent. Dent tipped it back to himself, chased it down. Joslin pushed him as he was trying to retrieve it. As Dent settles the line to the left, he puts up his first right through there, smooth like butter. 48-41, 7-point lead for the Indians.
I think Coach Wattrick going to let him run the length of the floor and put up a shot because he told the Indians don't inbound.
He just wants the Indians to get back and not foul. On Waits, now he picks up the ball. 3-point shot on the way, short, no good. Chased down, and that's going to be the ball game. St. Paul girls and boys are going to advance to the regional final tomorrow night at 6 and 7:30. St. Paul comes out with a 49-41 8-point victory over the Sedan Blue Devils and ends the Blue Devils season. We'll be back with final game KW Trucking postgame show after this 1-minute timeout. You're with St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to our KW Trucking postgame show. where the Indian boys come out with a 49-41 victory over Sedan and a fun game to watch. St. Paul led by 16 starting that fourth quarter, ends up winning by 7. So not the best fourth quarter in the world, but Adam Albertini fouled out a minute into that fourth quarter, and you could really tell that affected the Indian boys as far as handling that pressure from Sedan. That means St. Paul advances to the regional championship game tomorrow night, and they will play Cedarville Dexter. The girls will play at 6 o'clock. They will play Sedan. So the girls and boys. Now, Mike, what that means is the girls and boys will advance to sub-state. Now, it's whether or not the Lady Indians and boys will be the number 1 seeds or the number 2 seeds going into sub-state, because they are both advanced, where the top 2 teams from each regional advance to sub-state.
Yeah, that's one of the things, they come out of here and they're guaranteed to advance, and that's really what you want to do with this first round. You're going to survive and advance. Now, it'll have an effect maybe on the seeding. It'll be announced, I think, on Sunday how that'll all shake out with the 2 different locations for sub-state. But regardless, good news for St. Paul is they've survived this, late second half comeback attempt by Sedan and are going to get a seat somewhere at sub-state.
Yeah, they'll either come out as the number 1 or number 2 seeds. Cedarville Dexter will be who they play tomorrow night. Cedarville Dexter with just 2 losses on the season, 18-2 on the season. We're going to come back with Mike's final game KW Trucking stats after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Welcome back to Chetopa High School and home of the 1A regional semifinal game. St. Paul comes out victorious over Sedan 49-41, and it'll advance to the championship game in regional tomorrow night versus Cedarville Dexter. Mike, what do you got for final game stats?
Yeah, St. Paul struggled in the second half of the turnover department. Ended up with 12 turnovers in the second half alone and had a total of 18 on the game. So luckily that didn't cost him any more than it did, but St. Paul did a good job, especially from the free throw line. St. Paul led in scoring by Caleb Lemons, half of that coming, and the majority of that coming from the free throw line, where Caleb was 9 of 11, so good night on the line. Overall, St. Paul shot 61%. They were 13 of 21 overall from the line, so free throw shooting improved, and that is what we've always talked about, how important that is, and it was especially important in the win tonight. Individually, like I said, Lemons with 18, Easton Dent with 14 points on those good feeds underneath. Dent did a good job. He was getting a lot of trouble underneath by Sedan and really having to work at it. Ended up with 14 points. Colin Carlson got a lot of work in underneath as well. Only had 2 points on the night, but boy, they were hard, good minutes that Colin put in. He had a lot of good defensive plays too. Good night for Colin Carlson. Chandler Bradshaw, 6 points for the Indians, as well as Adam Albertini also with 6. And Kenny Haney kicked in 4 points for the Indians. Now the Indians overall shot 17 to 35, 48% from the field, 1 of 7 from outside of the three-point arc. No three-point attempts in the second half by St. Paul, so they had 14% shooting outside the arc, 13 to 21. Like I said, 61% from the free throw line. Pretty good offensive night overall for St. Paul.
If you want to know how the Indians match up against Cedarville Dexter, about the only thing I can tell you is that Cedarville Dexter beat West Elk by 10. The Indians won by 1, if you want a score comparison. And Cedarville and Dexter, Sedan and Cedarville Dexter split during the regular season. One game was really close. Cedarville Dexter won by 2. Actually, Sedan won by 2 in one game. and then got beat by like 14 in the second game by Cedarville Dexter. So look for that to be even a tougher matchup tomorrow night for the Indian boys. The Indian boys can play with anyone. They grew to a 16-point lead against Sedan, but didn't control that pressure very good towards the end of that ball game in that fourth quarter. And you could kind of see that a little bit, Mike, where you want to run the clock, and then a very aggressive team, you got to remain aggressive and make good offensive possession without no turnovers, and it just didn't really turn out that way. But Indians able to hang on, give them credit, and win this ball game by 8. So tomorrow night we'll come on the air about 5:45 for girls action, where St. Paul will take on Sedan, and then right after that, approximately 7:30, we'll stay on the air. May take a short break in between games because they usually put about 20 minutes on the clock between games. And then the St. Paul boys will play Cedarville Dexter. But the St. Paul Lady Indians and boys will both make it into Substate at either Emporia or El Dorado next week, starting, I don't even want to quote that. The brackets will be made. So 4 teams will be in each Substate at El Dorado and at Emporia, so we'll have to see which direction the Indians will go. There's a chance, depending on their seeding, they may have to be split. They try to put them in the same town, in the same Substate, but that isn't necessarily the way it absolutely works out, so we'll see how that works out. Hopefully they can both be number 1 seeds and go to the both same Substate, Mike.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get to play together, but regardless, good news is they still get to play, and that's the important thing tonight. So come out of here, hold your head high, but work's not over yet. You still got work to do tomorrow for that all-important placement in the Substate.
One of the things that really hurt, and everybody knew it, Coach Tuck and Athletic Director Mr. Turlup and Coach Watrick, is all those ice outs and snow outs that we couldn't make up. That hurts you when it goes into seeding for Substate. When it comes down to wins and losses, obviously the losses is a big thing, but if you have less wins than another team, then that higher seeding is going to go to that other team. But it doesn't really matter. You make it to Substate, you got to beat the best if you want to go to state anyway. So we're going to go ahead and sign out here tonight. Join us tomorrow night. I want to thank Dana back in the studio, keeping us on the air, doing a good job back there. And tomorrow night we'll be on the air about 5:45 with our Richie's Pharmacy pregame show. You've been listening to the KW Trucking postgame show, and our title sponsor is Farmers Bank. St. Paul comes out victorious, 49-41. We'll see you tomorrow night about 5:45. You've been listening to St. Paul basketball on Hot 105. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, everybody, for listening on the live stream.